Time for a show of hands. How many of you got dressed today? All of you, I hope. In that way alone, you have engaged in the garment industry. Funny how so many of us are very concerned about what we put into our bodies. But have you ever stopped to consider what we put onto our bodies and the impact that it will have? Until recently, I was never much concerned. As a parochial school student, I wore a uniform 5 days a week, typically the same dress each Sunday, and play clothes were minimal. I didn't play too much with Barbie dolls. The little wooden people were more my speed. You didn't have to dress them. As a teen, ripped jeans, a concert shirt, and a denim jacket was my go-to. And as a stay-at-home mom, having baby after baby after baby, after baby after baby after baby, sweatpants and my husband's t-shirts suited me just fine. So when I re-entered the workforce, I shopped for my clothes the way I shopped for my kids' clothes. At consignment shops, thrift stores, even yard sales. I found my entire career wardrobe that way, and I've been doing so ever since. Shopping secondhand is not only economical, it's really kind of fun, in an adventurous sort of way, almost like a treasure hunt. And I've really come to appreciate the quality construction of those vintage pieces that I stumble across. And as for delayed gratification, I've pretty much mastered that. But not only is it economical and fun, did you know resale shopping is actually one of the most ethical ways that we can shop? Think about it. When you buy secondhand, you can contribute to nonprofits, and in that way, it gives shoppers an opportunity to give back into their communities. It doesn't contribute to the problem of textile waste, which is piling up at catastrophic levels. It prevents the need to make a product again, which protects our resources. Our natural world has clearly defined limits, which we have overstepped. It doesn't produce air pollution, soil, or water pollution. The garment industry, by the way, is the second most polluting industry on Earth, second only to the oil industry. Consider cotton. Fashion industry is one of the most frequently used materials. It is one of the most pesticide-intensive crops on the planet. It takes 1/3 of a pound of pesticides for every pound of cotton grown. And it takes a 1/2 pound of cotton to produce just one t-shirt. Only 1 to 2% of all cotton worldwide is being grown organically. And even then, it's a very thirsty crop, requiring 1,800 gallons of water to produce just one pair of jeans. Aside from its environmental impact, today's garment industry has an enormous social justice impact. Did you know that 1 in every 6 people globally work in the garment industry? Many of them child laborers. The way we are buying clothing is changing so much, so fast. This current phenomenon known as fast fashion is an approach to the design, creation, and manufacturing and marketing of clothing that emphasizes making fashion trends quickly and cheaply available to consumers. The cutting of corners has become the norm. The shift it's moving ruthlessly, and it's producing a throwaway attitude, which is not sustainable. Fast fashion does not look after public health. It causes disparity, and the only one who loses in this situation are the most vulnerable. The lowest paid, the common sweatshop worker making just $2 a day. Fast fashion may not end soon, but our association with it can. If we care about the planet and all of its inhabitants, shouldn't we be looking for alternatives? Because conventional trade has become so exploitative. Here's how we can change the system. We can consider the ramifications, consider our impact, and choose quality over quantity. We can adopt Vivienne Westwood's maxim of buy less, choose well, make it last. Do this and others will follow. When my daughter needed a prom gown, she found a beautiful gently used dress, or pre-loved, as we like to call it. And she purchased her bridal gown from an independent designer who uses natural and recycled materials, with any excess being used for the creation of the next masterpiece. When I reflect on my clothing shopping habits in my lifetime, I recognize that I've grown. Not in my waistline, but in my consciousness. I've grown from being merely a thrifty consumer into a conscious consumer and into an advocate. I began wearing secondhand clothing because it's what I had to do out of financial hardship. I see now that it was and is the best thing for me to do, with no moral injury, no human rights being harmed. Oh, I totally understand the appeal of walking into a retail shop or browsing online or in a catalog and saying, I'd like that shirt in that color and in my size, and I'd like to be the first to wear it. Naturally, I get it. Who wouldn't? But when that's the case, opt for fair trade. This dress came from a company who is creating opportunity and empowerment for everyone in their supply chain. The organic cotton protected the farmers who grew it, the hands that cut, knit, sewed, and packed it, all of whom made a fair living wage and work in healthy work environments. And I bought it secondhand. I promise you it doesn't hurt. It's not that scary. But to be clear, I'm not suggesting that every item in your wardrobe should be pre-loved. That would be silly. But again, when shopping for new items, look for fair trade, because there are plenty of social enterprises springing up, proving that the fair trade model works. And don't worry, you don't have to sacrifice your personal sense of style when rejecting fast fashion. You'll love this. You can download the Good On You app, and this will help you discover about your favorite designers and how they treat their workers. The Good On You app gives ethical ratings where it's going to help you select brands that have reputable supply chains. Street artist Banksy said, "It's possible to do good and to feel good and to look good." Orsolio de Castro, co-founder of Fashion Revolution, said clothes are our chosen skin. They are a reflection of ourselves and what we stand for. Truly, clothing is a form of communication. So let's let our clothes communicate our values. Because every purchase that we make is a vote for what we believe in. So let's start with clothes. They're fundamental to our lives. Whether you are a fashionista or a plain Jane or somewhere in between, you can be well informed to make wise and purposeful buying decisions. Because what we wear matters, and the clothes on our back can literally create social change. So let's be brave, everyone. As consumers, we can protect our environment and foster workers' rights. So let's rock the resale and flaunt the fair trade. Thank you.